Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. Where have we been? Nobody fucking knows. But let me just tell you before we start this show, Jed Gillespie, that there is nothing better on planet Earth than making money whilst doing nothing. So can you please buy some caffeine gum? It really meant a lot to me, mate.
Yep.
Good to see you, mate. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. I've had some good feedback on the caffeine gum. Just trying to think. It's been 2 weeks now. You probably need to explain your absence to a degree.
Yeah, well, I got struck down. I spent the last 2 years since the pandemic started ducking, diving, dipping, dodging, and diving, and also ducking. The virus going around, and it got me. It finally got me last week. Holy shit, it got me good.
Yeah.
Worst I've ever felt in my life.
Far
everyone I know has had pretty mild symptoms. Minus a couple of people, but who actually got it last week as well. But fuck, dude, I've been absolutely fucked. Couldn't move. I'd be waking up during the middle of the night, shaking, and need a shower to calm down. That happened for about 3 nights. I didn't eat for about 3 days. I didn't have a coffee for about 4 days, which is even more unusual for me.
You probably felt sick from the withdrawals of coffee as well.
Well, I just couldn't drink it. Like I don't know why. Like I'm literally an addicted person with a lot of things in my life, particularly caffeine, as you know.
Yep.
Couldn't stomach it, couldn't drink it, and then I finally had a good night's sleep, and then the following night I couldn't sleep because I had too much energy.
Okay.
And then this nasty sore throat and cough. And yeah, it was not a lot of fun for me, but I'm on the other side out of it. Freedom Day today.
Yeah.
I made sure I went and got a nice breakfast wrap and an almond cappuccino, strong, extra hot. I'm mending, mate. I'm mending.
Yeah. Well, I still haven't had it. Well, I don't know. There's those people who haven't had it. I haven't had it. And I'm not really looking forward to it after all this chat about it being so bad.
So we had it South this week. We had 3 top squad coaches out with it. We had 2 managers out with it. Our physio out with it. So we had. Let's
start there. So you did the thing. Obviously, everyone saw a couple of weeks ago. Darren Coleman was in the at his home, isolating and coaching via effectively the phone. You also did that this weekend.
That was a horrible experience.
Oh well, yeah. I bet it is.
It was horrible. It was horrible. I always get nervous on game day. It's funny. You and I are both in the beginner stages of our coaching career, so we both got a lot to learn, and we're still on that path. I've come to realize that your influence as a coach on game day is minimal, apart from setting the tone, reinforcing some key messages, and making some good decisions around substituting players, and hopefully giving some feedback on field if they listen to it. So you tie that in with the fact that you're not even there. So you're sitting all on your own. You're in complete isolation. You haven't seen anyone for 4 days, and you're sitting on the phone watching your team play. You're listening to the commentary, which is
I can't do that. I can't do that.
Well, I won't be doing it again because it's questionable.
It's
questionable at best. And listening to some of the refereeing going on, you're going, and then the game's over. It was not a good day for us. And you're sitting there all on your own, no one to talk to. Going, I can't even get booze. I can't even drink anyway because I feel terrible. And,
that sounds terrible. I got to be honest. I don't know if I'd survive that, and if I did have to do an isolated game day, I'd be doing it without volume. I even all my and I don't necessarily have anything against the stand commentators. You might, but except Sonny Bill. But
yeah.
I can't do it. So when I'm cutting up footage, I don't use it. I just don't want to listen to just dubious random quirks and comments. I've got it heavily on mute. So I don't know if I'd ever make it through that day. That could be the most stressful day of my whole fucking life if that happened.
But you just it's like you're helpless. You're totally helpless. You send your messages to your boys to fucking make sure that their heads are on and all that kind of stuff. But in reality, the only people that can do anything are the people that are there and the players. and you're just,
Oh fuck!
you know,
I actually thought like recently. I thought like I've been waking up on Saturdays like knowing what you said, knowing that like a lot of people say like once it's Saturday, like the work's been done, it's just time to do it now. What you can impact is you can impact on field messaging. What you said, right? If they get it, I remember being a player. Some messages I'd get, and I'd be like, "Go fuck yourself." What the hell is that message? And then some you'd be like, "Yeah, okay," but like whether it gets through, who knows? It's got to get through a few sets of ears before it gets to them. So I thought, there's no reason to be stressed on game day. Even though we got a win on the weekend, I just go home and lay in the dark after the game. My heart can't take, like, if I had hair or like I looked any younger, I'd look fucked. So I don't know what's going to happen now.
It's funny, isn't it? It's only because you care. It's only because you care a lot, and it's your club and your team, and And at the end of the day, I look at it this way: for coaching, you've got full responsibility for everything that happens, but in reality, you've got very little control. You can. You've got control, but you've got very little at the end of the day.
I'm sitting there like a post match, like they won, so they were happy, but like I'm like sitting down in a corner, like propped up with my head against the wall, like dead. And then like the boys are just like, nice man, like not perfect. Let's just do it. I'm like they're all got energy, and I'm fucked. I'm dead.
So I'll say this to you on a game day, as I'm the second grade head coach and the forwards coach for the club. I'm going from about 11 o'clock in the morning and stressed out of my mind till about 5:30 p.m., 6 o'clock once we finish our meeting after the game. I'll just go, you eat once, you have about 15 coffees.
Yeah, the eating's my crime at the moment, and these are first world problems, but they might as well be put into some light. Like I get maybe a coffee if I'm not a coffeesman like you on the way, and like a fucking croissant or something, and then your next meal's 7. So by the time the game is, I'm fucking. When I was coaching twos last year, in the nicest way possible, I didn't get invested in ones at all, because I was just like, I can't do it. I got to worry about this. So I'd switch off after twos. So that's a very long day.
I've invested all day.
That's a fucking long day, man. That's a fucking long day.
Look, it's a lot of fun, and I'm learning a lot. But yeah, by the end of the day, you're just going, ugh.
It's horrific.
And do you have to deal with the people side of it as well, where where people tend to ring you or batch if something goes wrong in terms of, they can't go to training or?
A little bit of both. Like I'd say Ben handles most of it, but my phone's pretty full.
Yeah.
So yeah, that stuff happens as well. So, I mean, at semi-professional rugby, that's always going to be the issue, is that like people have wives, people have kids, they get sick, they work overtime. So it's never like nothing ever goes. You're effectively just waiting for whoever's going to fuck the plan up. And I mean, fuck it up. Like, we understand that people got lives, but every week there'll be at least one hurdle. So,
more than that.
You guys you missed obviously last week, where we went down to Randwick in round 1. North obviously looked really good in their game against East. Then this week you guys had Gordon.
Yeah.
Gordon seemed like, mate, like obviously
they'll be a top team this year, mate.
They'll be a top team. They've got the bones of like the 2020 side, minus the guys who were sort of just coming in for a bit of extra artillery. But like they got good coaching over there, and seem like they got good depth. They've got a good, reasonable set piece. They're just sort of a smart football team, I think.
No, I agree. They'll be there at the back end of the year, like they have been for the last little bit. I don't know if the score truly reflected the game, but yeah, look, very evident what we need to work on, and we'll be doing that this week.
Yeah, 100%. I think. Yeah, I mean that's it.
Did you watch all the games? Are you one of those?
Mate, I did my best, but to be honest, most of it goes into the footage for the next week.
Yeah.
So I've seen a bit of Gordon, because they're two in front of us, I think. So I do see a bit of Gordon. We obviously played him in the trials, but haven't seen too much. I'll just quickly go through the other ones. In what surprised me a little bit, I got to say. Manly gave West a bit of a shellacking, 41-14. Now, Manly
That
had
does surprise me.
Manly. Langy Gleeson went back to play for Manly and Douglas in the second row.
Yeah,
So
Max Douglas.
Max
He played.
Douglas,
They
played the week
last week.
before. Yeah, he
They
played the
both
week.
played against. They both.
Oh, did Langy play as well?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's a
Look,
pretty that. I mean, the problem is round one, Parramatta played West, so it was very hard to gauge, and that was a really close game. It's very hard to gauge where that sits.
Yeah.
Manly beating West serves well for Manly, I think, in my opinion. Like that's
Manly had a red card very early on against us, so they played that whole game with 14 men. So I don't think the round one was a real. I don't think it was a real glimpse of what they are this year, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. So I think that's a good result for them.
Yeah, definitely.
It maybe it puts a little bit of light into maybe where West are at, just because and I know it's early, but it's very hard to tell sometimes when you're not sure where teams stack up.
Yeah.
Whereas I think like the Rats going down 16-31 to North, again, it probably shows for me North's of the form team.
Norths are on fire, mate.
Yeah, they're a very, very good attacking side. They're smart footballers. The East game was a clinic. This game obviously a little bit closer. I think the Rats will be a good side as well, but it's a bad time. It's funny saying that at the start of the season. It appears like North have just started absolutely red hot. So running into North straight away probably is not a great thing.
Yeah. No, I agree totally. I agree. Who have you guys got next week?
We've got Hunter on Friday at Hunter.
Yeah, we're playing Friday as well. I don't mind that. Give us the weekend.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing. You know? I don't know. I think like anything that interrupts people's regular planning sometimes freaks me out, only because I worry that it'll freak other people out. But look, it's pretty clear. I think this year more than ever. So I think when we were younger, there were times where it didn't really matter what happened. The top two teams would win. At the moment, it sort of appears that if you play poorly, you'll lose. And if you play reasonably well, you're a good chance of winning.
I agree. I feel like you can lose. Any team can win. Well, pretty much any team can win if they play well in this competition. And if you lose, you're more than likely. If you play badly, you're more than likely going to lose.
Yeah, a good example is we were very poor against Randwick, and we lost in a close match. So I think that sort of it certainly gave us a good indicator of like, well, guys, if you show up and you literally play awful, you'll get done. So I think that's good for the comp. I think that'll keep people interested in. Just quickly, Uni beat Randwick 34-21. Sort of saw that coming. Uni,
they always bounce back, don't they?
Yeah, Uni, they're set piece team at home. It didn't really match up well for the Rats. I mean, for Randwick, I don't think. And then I actually watched this game in full. Two Blues played Hunter. So Hunter won 29-12. That didn't reflect the game at all. So I've got to give a shout out to Two Blues. It was a close game. It was 12-all for a long period. Two Blues did some really good stuff. So credit to Hunter for winning. They've obviously got like their inside centre, I think, did preseason at TARS. He's a massive unit, like ball running guy. And they've, recruited their ass off. Their 10 used to play for Norths, big left foot. But Parramatta played well. They did a good job. It was really tight until literally the death. So
I thought Hunter, who did they play last week?
Para?
No.
Oh,
I've seen Hunter.
Yeah, they played. Give me 2 seconds.
Was it Gordon? No, it was Gordon.
Yeah, it was Gordon. They pushed them all the way.
Yeah, I thought they played pretty bloody well against Gordon, to be honest.
Yeah, they did. They've got them. So they've got the foundations for a good side. And when I say foundations, like if I was building a team tomorrow, that I'm like, okay, I need to be competitive. What do I need? I need a really big. I need a 10 with a giant kick. So they got a left-footed 10 with a giant kick, a good ball running 12, and some hard workers. So like what will come down to them is if they can deliver at set piece which they didn't on the weekend. But they were way better against Gordon. So I watched the Gordon game. That they did a good job. I also think it's hard winning up there.
I agree too.
Have you played up there personally?
Nah, I've never been there. How are you guys doing it?
It wasn't like, it was cool because they were very welcoming. It was cool to be in Newcastle.
Like country rugby types.
Yeah, it was cool. Like, it was really cool. They're all nice guys. Like it was their first year in the comp. But it was a bit of a grind. Like, you do feel like you're away. You're away in a faraway land for a lot of people who've never done it before. There's just a different environment. It was hard. So it was, and we're heading into that this week.
Hey, would you rather go there or go to Penrith?
Who am I playing?
Penrith.
Well, do I want? Yeah, I think I'd rather go to Penrith. I know it's a tough one, but it's closer. It's closer.
Well, that's next door for you, basically. Next to the North Ryde, massive.
Yeah, so that's the weekend that was. And look, it was a interesting weekend of rugby. I think it's going to take a few more weeks to show sort of who's who in the zoo. Most guys, a couple of teams dropped an early game, like Uni, like us, yourself have dropped a game. A lot of teams are 1-1, so it'll be interesting to see what happens.
I agree. I think this will be the closest comp in a long time, and there'll be some surprise results the whole way through. From what I've seen, I've watched quite a bit of the last couple of weeks, and I think COVID's going to have a part to play, and injuries will have a part to play, and I think what's already having a part to play, Super Rugby teams taking players will have a part to play as well.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting one. I'm not sure how that'll pan out. It's hard to tell. I mean,
we've lost a guy already.
We had a guy. I suppose we're losing our fringe guys. So, the guys who are in the academies and whatnot, we have lost one other guy externally. And there's probably been two other guys who we suspected would be back and aren't back. So, yeah, it'll be interesting. While on that, a guy listens to the show, the artist formerly known as, has sent me through the top 10 prospects of the Shoot Shield to look at. Did you see that one?
No. Well, sorry, I did see it, but it's behind a paywall. So
yeah, I got it just on that rugby news. How many people are paying for that paywall? Like, honestly, it must be enough for them to keep active. But every time I see the paywall, we don't use it.
What is it? It's a $99 a year or something. I think it's like $100 a year. So if you get 1,000 people, it's not a bad little,
But yeah, look, a few guys to look out for. It's an interesting one. I got to be honest, I don't know all of them. That's probably because then some of the guys are new. They've got Simon Kennywell at Sydney University. Do you know if has he been playing?
I haven't noticed him.
Yeah, that's a funny one. I was surprised to see him back there.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought so, but
thought he was a Randwick man.
He was, yeah.
That's interesting. So he's joined the federation. Where he plays, I mean, he's very obviously experienced and professional athlete. Jordan Jackson Hope at Eastern Suburbs. So that was one that I think happened last year. We obviously played him on the weekend. He'd tell you what, he's getting through some work there. His touches per game are phenomenal.
He's a good player, man. He's very good.
He's a good player. He really rose to prominence early in his life. Like he was sort of in and around the Brumbies team when he was like 19 or 20, and he's not very old now.
Spent some time in Japan recently.
Yeah, I think he played for the Sunwolves actually as well.
Yeah, he did. He did. Yeah.
So put it this way, look, he's a good player. He had a lot of touches. Jeez, they give him the ball a lot. So I hope they give him some help because at the moment he's copping a belting.
One man mission.
Yeah, he's on a one man mission. And actually, I saw on the list as well is Tavita Funa. So I saw him. It appears that he's going to play a bit of Shoot Shield this year. Just the way that Tars is shaping up. So he's playing for the two Blues. He played a little bit of fullback. Not a full game in their loss. He looked good, but it's going to be as any professional sort of learns, it's tough week in and week out. If you signed up to play for the Waratahs and you end up playing shoot shield, it does become a bit difficult.
I'm not a big league guy, but he was one of the league guys that came over, isn't he?
Yeah, he's mainly Seagulls.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a difference going from playing for the Sea Eagles or the Fringe Sea Eagles to running around at, Hunter Wildfires Oval or Southern Districts or
it's a massive difference. It's massive.
Milner, the fucking maniacs over at Milner there.
Well, it's even difficult, I will say, for some guys coming from like Joey's with 10,000 people, and you end up.
I've done some highlights for schoolboys lately. They get ridiculous crowds.
Well, I will say I went to one of those stupid schools, and you have to attend. So they have.
Oh, so it's compulsory.
The best crowd policy there is, which is compulsory attendance.
So do they check you off or something? Where's Gillespie?
Yeah,
smoking behind the toilets as per usual.
Yeah, well, I used to ditch them all the time to go to Eastwood games, and I'd get in trouble. So, they do check you off at half time. So if we could maybe implement that across the clubs, we might see some huge crowd numbers.
Look how well your life's gone since then.
Oh, awful. That was from someone else. But
who else we got?
That's about it from the Shoot Shield. We've obviously got the Super Rugby coming up. The Rebels got another win on the weekend.
Amazing. Who would have guessed that 2 weeks ago?
Not me.
I didn't guess that. I thought they'd lose every game this season.
Yeah, well, I also thought. I think that it's good they picked up a couple. I think it's good. I still
think for them.
It's fucking good for them. It's not good for the Western Force who are in crisis meetings. Well, the Western Force, should we do that now? Or obviously Simon Cron's coming back.
Yeah, so we kind of got an early inkling of this, but because you and I are both social media literate, we didn't break it, even though we should have.
Yeah, we should have.
Yeah, look, Matt, what do you say? The guy's a go-getter. I've never been coached by him. I've done a podcast with him and spoken to him offline a few times. Seems like an awesome dude. Seems like an awesome coach. I don't know.
Yeah, I've had a little bit to do with him, not much, but I know he's got a good rugby mind from all reports, and he's going to recruit. He's going to recruit to the Force. So I think the Force have done a very good job. We've talked about of getting those second, third string guys and effectively getting a shitload of them. They need a few more, in my opinion, upper level. Pasatoa has been good as a young kid. If they want to win 6-7 games next year, they might need to reevaluate their 10 situation. Are there 10s floating around? Yes. They probably need to look at 9s as well. Like they need to look at their spine of their team. And I think
props.
I think they will. I think I'd be very surprised if people don't have emails right now from Simon Cron hitting him up for next year, and I'm sure that people do right now.
It's he's done it in an interesting way, hasn't he? He's gone from North, obviously going from what they come his first year, like 8th or 9th, 7th maybe, to winning the Shoot Shield, to Tar's assistant coach, to going to work with Steve Hansen at Toyota, to head coach of the Force. It's an interesting sort of career trajectory, isn't it?
Look, I think it is. It is. It sort of shows that you've got to take your opportunities in a way. Having said that, getting to choose between, at the time, he was sort of up for the head Tars gig or going to Toyota, where I'm sure that they would have had him on a few yen. It's not the worst thing in the world. But one thing is that because he's been in the Shoot Shield system, he knows who people are. He knows who's good. He knows who's young. He's calling the coaches. He's having a look at people heavily. So it's a very good time. And the Force have never been a top contender. They've had periods where they're good, but they've really never been like, look what the Force are producing in the West. At the moment and last year, I'd say the Force are competitive, but are they a top contender? No. So this could be their chance. And I think a lot of young guys are going to have to evaluate whether they stick with the Tars or the Brumbies or those old school systems, or they go out on a limb and go over there.
Does the mining and the RM Williams money count under the salary cap over there?
I don't know. Surely they must have some sort of advantage. I know that they have. At the time where players were getting cuts and shit like that, I believe the Force said they weren't going to do that. So they have some. I mean, that's a nice. I feel like all players should have the insurance that their salary is not going to get fucking cut in a quarter. But that is nice to know that they're actually financially backed by like the fourth richest guy in Australia. So whether they're getting paper bags, I don't know.
What about all these people leaving? So I just saw that Angus Scott Young is going to Northampton with Lukan Salakai Lotu. I think I said that really well. Shout out to that guy. Tom Banks has been offered millions to go to Japan. You know, how do we solve this situation, Jed Gillespie? What would you do if you were Australian rugby? What would you do if you were the players, by the way?
Well, and Nick Frost as well. I know we spoke.
There's rumours that he's doing an about face.
I don't know, by the way. I've read that. I don't know how well that's going to go in Japan, doing an about face. Because they're big on respect, big on fucking, like, they treat you very, very well, but you, like, everything's just in good faith. Yeah. So that's going to really fucking piss some people off if he does that. And it could hurt him later in his career. I don't like if he does want to go there. Angus Scott Young, for me, is a very good back rower. I don't know whether he's not in the Wallabies team. Would he be in a Wallabies squad at some point? Yes. And Lukan is sort of perpetually in the Wallabies squad. So
Tom Banks. But it speaks to, like, what I guess what I'm getting at is the money issue getting our best talent overseas. Again.
I don't think that's our best talent.
It's certainly top talent.
It's top talent. I'll give you that. Like I think
you're right.
I think Tom Banks will actually suit Japan better than he suits here. Like I think he'll excel in Japan, where it's special teams offense, no one tackles. I think he'll really like that. Like I think it'll suit his game. Does he have more tests in him? Probably right now, but I think he's replaceable. Respectfully, is Nick Frost? Okay. Is Nick Frost replaceable? Not really. Is Lukan replaceable? Not at the moment. As sort of like a fourth string Wallaby second rower. I think, put it this way, I think it's a very good time for Lukan career wise. He's still like probably perceived as on the cusp of the Wallabies team. He's played tests. He's still a young guy. It'd be a good time for him to go financially. Be smart.
Go get those sweet pounds.
Get some pounds into him. So yeah, the Frost one, he has to stay. What do you do about the money? I don't know, because as we've highlighted over and over again, the money's not even close. It's not even times 2, times 3. So like, we're not talking 100 grand. Take 100 grand for your country, son. It's like, can you take 40% of your wage?
Can we talk about the real issues? Can we get serious? And I haven't said fuck yet. So there's our first fuck, second fuck, third fuck for the episode. But the real issues going on in the world today, Jed Gillespie.
What's that?
I know we're a little late on it, but obviously you're a big fan of Will Smith, and he's slapping the shit out of that guy, Chris Rock. Also, pretty good comedian, let's be fair. What did you make of all that? I want your opinion on it.
Will Smith's loved universally, right?
Well, I don't think so anymore, but yeah.
Did everyone forget he's a crazy Scientologist lunatic? Like, is that just gets swept under the rug?
Do you think having that level of success, that level of fame, fucks with people?
Yeah, well, yes, it does. But like, how come Tom Cruise, who's obviously a psychopath, he's big into his Scientology. Everyone thinks he's a psychopath. Will Smith, long-time Scientologist, open relationship. His wife sleeps with everyone. His kids are sort of like non-binary, fucking out there doing crazy shit. Like everyone just ignores it because he sort of looks cool and doesn't age. Like
Bad Boys was awesome.
Yeah, Bad Boys was. He's a crazy person. He's a proper crazy person, and I like Chris Rock, man. So fuck Will Smith. If I see Will Smith, it's on site. On site.
You just brought him up. You brought up the other elephant in the room, Tom Cruise. Now,
what's he done?
No, I discovered him on TikTok the other day.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that guy's a fucking out there sort of human.
Yeah, look, he's loopy. He's also like 5'3", which I enjoy. Tiny Tom Cruise running across the screen. So I can't say I don't watch any of his action shit because it's not realistic that like the FBI, the CIA are going to hire a 4'11" guy to run a
Mission Impossible, and yet they do every single mission. So it's mission unlikely, yes, but not Mission Impossible.
Mission medium to difficult.
Tough mission.
Yeah,
so I guess it doesn't sell as well as Mission Impossible.
Anyway, I don't like him either.
There's been other issues going on in the world. I'm certain of it, but they've all blanked to me at the moment.
Well, no, but before that, the Australian men's sevens.
Oh yeah, they won.
Well, they came third, but
that's still a win.
It's a great win. So they were dominant through their pool stages, dominant in their quarter, and the semi was tough. Drawing Fiji is tough because you just don't know what you're going to get. And Fiji were just a little bit too good. Australia had a yellow card, but it was just awesome to see some success in a system that realistically has almost no funding.
Do you reckon that this just goes to show that the full-time program is a bit redundant? Because you brought in a bunch of part-time players and they've gone pretty well.
That's a good question. But, I mean, most of those guys, you'd have to say the majority of the team are full-time. I think that's fair. Like, I'm saying of the 13 guys, like, 8 or 9 are full-time, whatever. But the system's been slashed in half since, 3 or 4 years ago. I honestly think that 3 or 4 years ago, they needed to roll over some talent. Some of their guys who were their mainstays, and they have done that. I think that it does show that if you pick the right people from the Shoot Shield, they can do a good job. Like, Ben Maher's been playing for years, and he's a good athlete. He's a good player. So, like, he played really well. Tim Clements, it doesn't take a genius to literally just watch the highlights from the last 3-4 years and go, geez, that uni wing is fast as hell, man. He's a good player. And then Gonzo and Ice. So, like Gonzo's obviously one of the fastest people on the planet, over 40 meters, and just a freak. So, it was really good.
Isn't he really strong as well, like physically?
Stupid. Like deadlifts 250s, 270, something like that.
That's not even fair.
I don't know. But my point is, like, it was good to see. And, like, obviously Johnny's ex or current Eastwood, but, like, he's ex-Shoot Shield. So, when he got in, that he had eyes for those guys. But he's under pressure as the new guy in there. And they delivered. They've done pretty well in their tournament. So, I don't know. I think the first...
Just quietly, Jed Gillespie, how good would being a sevens player be? When the world's normal, you're going Singapore to Vancouver.
Yeah, look, I think sevens is truly horrific. At that level, playing it would be horrible. Just how hard it would be, it makes me feel nauseous. But
have you ever played sevens?
Oh, not for 15 years, Chubby.
I played at this Alaskan sevens tournament, and I'm the worst. Like, I have no speed at all, and it was hard. It was hard. We played the U.S. Army team.
Oh, they would have been laid back.
They were like praying and stuff before the game. We rocked up, hung over, other things that you're allowed to do in Alaska, which you're a big fan of.
Murder.
Riding
I do think it'd be awesome. Like, imagine how many stops. Imagine how many, like, stamps you get in your passport. Just one season. It'd be fantastic. It's certainly an experience to be on that circuit for like 2 years or something would be. And these days you get to go to the Commonwealth Games and the fucking Olympics. Like,
it's unreal.
I'd pay good money to get in that Olympic village.
Can I ask you a very serious question?
Yeah.
Do you think that I think rugby has fucked up. Like, they started a lot of the professional women's stuff earlier than the rugby league did. But it seems like the rugby league have done such a great job with the NRLW and turning the women's game into a bit of a spectacle. But I feel like rugby actually started first and they just didn't go on with it.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Is that a serious question? I don't know if it's serious.
In terms of professionalism, like, the women's sevens was well before NRLW. In terms of full-time professionalism, the women's sevens is still far ahead of NRLW. But in like the NRLW, if you're on a standard contract, is $10,000 max. So very, very poor. But
compare that to Super W.
Well, Super W is nothing. But at the top level, strength sevens women's, like Charlotte Cashley could be making a very, very big amount of money.
She's going 8.
She's going good. And then
8.
You probably have 4 or 5 other of the female players who are on a very good wage. So the top end, still way better. But you're right, like the expansion, I think it's because it's more followed, mate. Like we could put a New South Wales Sevens team out there, but if there's no one going to the TARS game to start with, like how are you going to get filter off interest?
Rugby league's such a shit game. It is. Let's just fucking not sugarcoat it. It's shit. I never watched it. After sort of being in and around it, I have an appreciation for it now, but it's just so well set up. It is so well set up. And like AFL?
No.
Hey, I'm with you there. I went to a game when I was in Melbourne, half an hour break at halftime. Some of the supporters are the worst supporters I've ever seen.
AFL, heaps of respect for the athleticism.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable athletes.
Yeah.
And you know what? Being an AFL player in Melbourne is like being a god amongst men. So I got nothing against them. The game itself, it's just 3 guys dropping a ball for 2 hours. Like I can't watch it. I also went to the MCG. Walking the MCG was awesome. After that, I could have left. There didn't have to be a game on. But
the MCG is better than the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, rugby league's simple sport, man. It's really simple, and that's what people like about it. But also, their followings are insane. Like they are insane. How you meet
where though in Australia, like in a few places, Penrith, Blacktown,
fucking oath. But I'm serious. But like that's what's talking, man. Money talks. Like that is heavily supported. Like we have a skeleton crew of Tigers fans at Eastwood who are perpetually sad. And even at trainings, they're talking about the league and this and that. Like, it's just so heavily supported.
Well, do you feel it's probably they've done a good job of getting the tribal nature of it, So the Sharks, you're from Cronulla, you support the Sharks because that's your team, that's your area.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're from New South Wales, it's hard to support the Waratahs. Do you know what I mean?
Shouldn't be. I think one of the best things they've done is playing at Leichhardt. I think that's one of the better things they've done. Going back a couple of years when it used to be at Allianz or whatever, or SFS, and you got a stadium like a 100,000 person stadium with 11,000 people in it, I think sucks. It would be smart of them to keep doing that. Like play the Leichhardt games have got a bit of kick to them. They've got a bit of localized tribal thing to it. It does have that to it. I would do them at those grounds. So Brookvale being another example, but Brookvale might as well be have goats on it. Is the worst surface of all time. But I think those stadiums are better. You're better suited.
What about Milner? Just play at Milner.
Yeah. I suppose. Like honestly, if you had a TARS game at Milner, it would be standing room. But
you'd stack the place, wouldn't you?
Like take it to like any of the Shoot Shield grounds that are suitable.
Foreshore, take it to Foreshore.
Imagine
the crowd. Imagine the crowd.
The crowd would be drunk. We'd have 5-6 ACLs post game, but that's all right.
It's rugby. It's life, mate.
Mate, who's laying turf down there? You guys still got turf?
Mate, what about the 8 weeks of fucking torrential rain? Jesus.
Well, we're just not allowed on TG, so it doesn't matter.
Well, we barely are, but we've been able to play games somehow.
Let's talk about
you should see it. You should see what they fucking do. We got these amazing volunteers. The day before the game, the place is literally underwater. You could fucking get a boat and paddle around it. The next day, dry. So they get all these pumps in and then they just ship it off. The backfield's pretty much fucked now. Which it was. It was anyway.
It's worth talking about the rain because, like, the rain has been incredible and it has significantly hampered the Shoot Shield. Now, to Randwick have synthetics they train on, and East. Obviously.
Yeah.
So East look like
Norths have access to a synthetic as well.
Yeah. So there's a few teams, not many.
Sydney Uni have been training mornings at some school that has a synthetic. So there's teams that do, but
but finding just for any of the listeners, finding a synthetic field now when it's raining is like finding gold in your bathroom. It is incredible. Like we trained at 6 a.m. one Saturday morning just because it had been raining for 2 weeks. Like, so the teams that do have access regularly to synthetic fields look like geniuses now. Congratulations, you're all fucking geniuses. Now, do you catch boils at East and all sorts of infections, staph? Probably, but
chlamydia.
Yeah, if you're in the clubhouse, but but to be able to train all year round, you look like geniuses. The rest of us, training's been very hard, and I know you can tell us in a minute. We've been obviously at TG. We've got backfields. We've got a little bowling green. Now, what it's meant is obviously first grade have taken priority. That's meant twos probably have trained 50%, but more importantly, and we'll have to touch on this later, thirds and fourths have barely trained in a month. So not only does that hurt, obviously, their prep and, it's good to get the guys together and it's good to train to prepare, but it hurts attendance. And that's been something that we're going to have to touch on. But how's it? So we've sort of, like last Thursday, we did our training at a tennis court.
We've been at a hockey field. We've been at hockey fields.
I'd take a hockey field if you had one.
Yeah, it's different, but because it's not like one of those soft Astro turf ones. It's quite firm and it's not full size. So you're right. It's been
a shit show. It's been a shit show.
Has been, but look, nearly everyone else is dealing with it, so you can't really use it as an excuse. Meant to rain again this weekend.
What do you do? What are your lower grades been doing?
They've still been training when they can. So we have a field 3. So the field directly behind Southern District's goalpost going towards the back.
Yep.
So we've still been able to do some units and some skills work on that, even though it is an absolute slush heap, and I ruin my shoes every time I walk on there.
Yeah, I've got no shoes left. I've got no shoes left also.
Mate, you literally walk out there and I go to the boss, mate, where are we? He goes, you're in field 3. And I look around, I'm trying to find the driest, firmest spot to do scrums or lineouts, and it's just terrible everywhere. So I just spray paint, So, but what can you do? You've just got to get on with it. But it's been hard. Like, we haven't really been able to practice kick chase, for example, because we haven't had a field.
Yeah. I think a lot of teams have been in the same boat, and it's been really, really difficult. So maybe as time progresses, now the problem is we've all ruined our second fields. As time progresses, maybe you'll see a better standard of football across the comp as teams train a little bit more. I can't remember a season with less, like in the month before, less prep in terms of actual time on field. Like you said, even getting lineouts in, or scrums, like you're in a foot of water. It doesn't really matter where you are. So it's been a murky build up. Now the rumor around the Shoot Shield is the lower grades at the moment. Lower grades are struggling for numbers. Not pretty much everywhere. So we're struggling for numbers for the first time in a while. We fill the teams, but it's like there was, some just turn up Saturday sort of thing. I know some clubs are also struggling for numbers big time. So there might be a move to scratch. I heard a whisper that there's going to be an evaluation of the lower grades.
When are they going to do that?
I don't know. But I know Sydney Rugby's stressed. Sydney Rugby's stressed because, 50% of the comp in 4s are uncontested, and, that's filtering up to 3s. Like, numbers aren't what they were. They're really not what they were. I can't speak for South. I can speak for Eastwood, and I've seen other teams. Like East have fucking 200 players. I think that's correlated maybe to the fact they've also trained non-stop. But if you put 2 seasons in a row where there's been no 3s, really, definitely no 4s, pretty much no 3s, and then you also combine that with no training,
travel opening up again.
You lose,
People,
you were losing people.
and it's such a big commitment for guys to play. Even third grades 2-3 nights a week plus game, plus I get it. Yeah, we've been struggling too. A lot of that's due to injuries. We've got crazy amounts of injuries this week, which I'm sure every club suffers with. So you can't really use that as an excuse. But look, if the whole point of Premier Rugby is for it to be Premier, which is what they say they want, they've got to do something about it. I think the perfect situation is you have a first grade and a second grade compulsory. You can have third grade and fourth grade, and if you get enough teams, you can have a comp. So just say we've got a third grade team or a fourth grade team, and we're due to play you guys. I'll ring you, Jed. You guys got enough for a third or fourth grade game? You go, well, look, we could scratch a third grade together. Beautiful, but they still have a comp, but it's not compulsory.
You got to combine the sort of lack of numbers at the moment with whatever selection of teams have been pushing to cut the comp right down for a long time, and you're starting to get a bit of a concerning argument. So the teams, and I fucking love fourth grade and third grade because they're one like we'd have at least 5 or 6 guys who've played a third grade game in first grade at the moment. Like you develop talent. Sometimes when guys come to the club, they're 30 kilos overweight or they're nowhere near, and 3-4 years later, they're on the bench for ones or they're a good player. So you need those teams. In addition, all your club energy, what you are as a club, a lot of it comes from the lower graders.
They're the reason that rugby is great.
Exactly. They're the ones watching. They're the ones there who play the footy on Saturday because they fucking enjoy it. They're not trying to make money. They're not trying to go anywhere. They like playing rugby. And then they
100%.
Then they stick around sport. They're the predominant of what makes clubs great. So where you get great lower grade, you get great support. And that is like Souths. That is like Easts. That is like those clubs that always have a lot of, even Randwick have that sort of lower grade thing coming. Now, if you delete that, do you lose your culture? Maybe. But like, I'm telling you, there's going to be an assessment at some point considering the lack of numbers.
Yeah, if they're going by the letter of the participation agreement, if teams fail to field lower grade teams, you'll be out. So hopefully it doesn't come to that and cooler heads and smarter decisions prevail. But man, I agree.
The participation agreement is a fucking waste of paper.
Well, it's written, didn't it have like crayons and
what I heard, everyone they cut their finger with blood and just bled on it. It's a waste of time because no one ever abides by it. Teams have been fucking stuffing it up for 10 years on the trot. Nothing happens. So
they're all wearing their robes in the desert, sort of sacrificing animals. And
that's Sydney uni off season. Yeah, look, I don't know what's going to happen there, but I don't know.
Do you feel like this? Like the world we know has changed? The world we knew. The world we knew's changed.
I don't know. I don't know if I speak that deeply, mate. I don't know if I think that deeply.
Yes, you do. Yes, you fucking do. Your brain's just going about line outs and scrums and fucking.
It is.
Attack plays and.
Well, I don't know. Has it changed? Yes. People still walk around with masks on, buy coffee with masks on. I've stopped listening to anything COVID related, but things have changed and COVID sort of brought it on for footy as well. There's been some changes. So fucking is what it is, I suppose. But it's not good for guys who, particularly our older vintage, like our parents' age, who sort of grew up in that era. They're not going to like seeing that. I don't think they're going to like it. I think it's going to suck for them, but it might be just the way things are heading. I don't know.
Oh, fuck. I wish we didn't have training tonight. We could have a couple of beers doing this.
Yeah, I will say I do look forward to my Wednesdays when I get Wednesday off. It's nice.
We don't get Wednesdays off. It's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday this week.
You are? Fuck, yeah, no, we're Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. So obviously reduced week with the game Friday, would just be a little captain's run Thursday, but
what else is going on in the world? Obviously, you're a big golf fan. That guy won the Masters. Tiger was there.
Yeah, I would have a question on Tiger Woods.
I'm a big fan of that guy.
You are?
Yeah.
All right. Everyone treats him like a god, right? It just goes to show, in my opinion, if you're good enough at something, you can do whatever you want.
Do you know what I think he fucked up with?
Or
No, I don't even think that's a fuck up. I think he fucked up pretending to be perfect.
That's exactly right. But that's my crime with him is that, like, Tiger Woods fans are crazy, crazy fans. Like, they are, like, just so it's like a religion. But like the dude crashed his car on painkillers and like he stuffed himself up. It's a great return story. But before that, like, he had an absolutely sorted off-field stuff. Like, and then
Real, wasn't it?
as long as I don't have to pretend he's some sort of like angelic messiah, he's a demon.
But it's like Shane Warne. Shane Warne never pretended to be anything else other than who he was. And I think that's why everyone loved him, because he was just a normal bloke with faults, and he just, liked doing all the things that we like doing, or that you like doing. Same with Tiger. Same with John Daly. Obviously, you're a big John Daly fan. You know how I feel about John Daly, one of the greatest athletes of all time. Super talented guy. Has always been himself. Everyone loves him. Tiger, if he was himself from minute one, he would be even more adored.
I agree, but I think that's where he loses me a little bit. Is that he wants to be like the golfing like idol, like train hard, work hard, but like behind the scenes, he's
train hard, fuck hard. That's an old Yoda quote. Have you seen that meme?
I have seen that meme. I don't. I think that Tiger's been subscribing to that, but like, yeah, I think it was cool to see him back, but it was a dubious time of the day, the Masters, for me. Or it was a really early morning, wasn't it?
I don't know, mate. To me, golf is all about drinking, and I'm not going to watch it sober. Absolutely not. And I'm not even going to participate in it sober. It's like cricket.
Yeah, I like cricket's good background noise. There's nothing that being in.
Yeah, when you're drinking.
No, I'm not. Yeah, I suppose, but like, I like just having it on day 3 against India. We're fucking 4 for 970, and you just have a little nap. That's cricket for me.
Hey, anything else interesting happening? I should have written down stuff. Like in the last 2 weeks, there's been shit going on in the world. There's an election coming up. We don't have to talk anymore about politics now. We've mentioned it for our one guy that doesn't like it.
Yeah, we're not allowed to talk about that. But
you know what I have been doing? I've been going into a deep dive on Joe Biden quotes on YouTube. I can't even understand if it's. You just cannot make this stuff up. It's unreal. And it's highly entertaining.
It's scary, man. It's so scary. It's so scary.
Mate, they must have hated Donald Trump. And you know what I love as well? The US media have this that have all these political commentators, and it's just a form of entertainment. And they're all paid millions of dollars to have these opinions. And it's the whole purpose of it is for the entertainment of us.
I will say,
it's an industry.
Joe Biden's lost his fucking mind.
Some of the videos.
I did write down. So the NRLW they've received an application for a transgender athlete for next year.
Oh my God. Go on.
Your move, Australia. Go on. You guys pick. I don't care anymore. You guys can pick.
Mate, I reckon we should all just identify as zebras and,
well,
bears. Identify as a bear.
You are wearing stripes. My point is, you're on a very dangerous trajectory for lefties, because like that swimmer already swept up, completely eliminated hundreds of swimmers' hopes. Olympic medalists, beating Olympic medalists by 20 seconds. If you let this happen in the NRLW, you could end up with someone very, 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 very injured. If Tavita Eni Pangai Jr. decides to play for the NRLW, you could end up in big, big trouble.
Mate, I'm trying to remember the wording for this meme that I saw lately. And it's something along the lines of, there's never been a better time to be a man, because if you fail as a man, you can always go and be a woman. Something like that.
Oh, it's so counterintuitive
Hey, we got some fan questions. Did you
Yeah,
want? Did you want?
hit 'em up,
Do you
bro.
want to,
Like,
Mister?
they'll all be spraying me, but go on.
Oh no. This is an interesting question from Mister Ed Craig.
Oh.
Are there more doors or wheels in the world? Hashtag doors or wheels. There'd have to be more wheels, surely.
Yeah, this could go forever. I've heard them talking about this on other podcasts. It's like it was a big internet thing. I think there's more doors.
Well, like even just in my house, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, then you got sliding doors and fucking. Yeah, you're right. The cupboard doors are doors, aren't they?
This
is going to do my head in.
I didn't invest any mental energy into that because I knew at the time I was like, I don't think whoever created this was evil. It's an evil question.
You know those questions that they give you that are like, but that make you think. Like the Tars did a few during preseason where they put out like a riddle. You're a big fan of those ones. You're a big fan of those type of mental challenges. You like to break a mental sweat.
Yeah, but they'll make me look stupid probably. Anyway.
I am what I am, mate, you know. Just Jed, current Waratah captain, Wallaby squad member, Just Jed 1-2, responded to your question sticker. Who has been more impressive, Moana or Drua? Geez, they're great additions to the comp, aren't they?
I'm very happy that they've come good. That's a tough question. I think Moana are more conventional in the way they play. Like they're going toe to toe with the New Zealanders at their own game. So like they've got a better set piece. Like the Drua are down to a 3-man line out. So like the Drua are on another planet. They're just playing fucking Fiji ball and just go and see if you can stop us. And it's worked once or twice.
Don't sit on the fence, Jig Gillespie.
I'm not.
Let's have an opinion.
I'm going to say Fiji. The reason I'm saying Fiji is because a lot of the Moana guys were in systems in New Zealand. And Fiji, you've got some guys from all over the place. So, like, obviously, a couple of guys from club rugby here. But I'm going to say Fiji, they're doing their own thing. They took some lashings and then they're turning out some superstars. A few of the guys in the Fijian team, I hope you enjoy seeing them because they won't be back next year. They'll have a baguette and a latte, and they'll be in the south of France.
Getting that sweet euro.
Sweet euro.
All right, Fat Bill Mac has a 3-part question. Why not? Let's give him the 3 questions. Will Pony ever fit into a backs jersey again, or is it a reserve front row jersey for life? I think it's front row jersey for life, William. Shout out to my brother, Robert James, just got engaged. Fuck, it's weird seeing your friends grow up, bro. Holy shit.
Yeah, there's a lot of babies. Firstly, I can only comment from a distance on Pony's physique. I would say the prop jersey, unless there's a very big backs one. Yeah, it's weird, mate. Or there's a lot of babies around me at the moment.
Mate, he's just he's moved back to Menai to save money to buy a house. I'm like, oh no, the days of just being around the corner are over.
But Pony, if he just took all his money, right, and he put it on red, he could double it in one go.
He could have 5 houses.
He could have.
Okay, thoughts on how the Emus will go in the Canberra competition? Also from a Fat Bill Mac.
They pulled out.
No, they didn't. Apparently, some of their social media suggested that they went to a game there on the weekend. Obviously, you're a big Canberra John Dent Cup supporter.
John Ident Cup.
What is it?
John Ident.
John Ident Cup. Fantastic name, Mr. Dent. Shout out to him wherever he is, and the whole Dent family. Obviously big supporters of this podcast.
They had a game against the Canberra Vikings. Did we not read that they pulled out?
I got told that they pulled out.
Let's see what the score is.
I didn't think anyone from Penrith ever pulled out.
I'm not going anywhere near that. They're called Tuggeranong, aren't they?
Tuggeranong.
Tugger and on. Go with the next part of the question and I'll find it.
Okay, Mr. Bill Mack, Fat Bill Mack, who are looking the goods already 2 rounds into the shoot shield. We kind of answered that.
Yeah.
North's are the standout at the moment for me.
Yeah, I agree. I think that they're the team to beat. They're a good side. There's not much more I can say about them. They're a good side.
Also, while you're pondering the Penrith answer, do you like a little tongue twister there for the listeners? Shout out to the Cowra Eagles Rugby Club. Obviously, very big fans of the show. Fantastic people, fantastic scrum machine. And the great Hugh Sinclair paid them a visit the other day. Obviously, the Sinclairs have, they live out there and they're part of the community. So it's awesome to see our elite players giving back and to such a great club as well. Mate, we should go out there one day, Jed. That's a fucking great bunch of blokes out there.
Yeah, I'll do that. As I said, I love Cowra. I love that part of the world. So I'm happy to go out there. Farmer wants a wife.
Oh, 100%. 100%. All right, that's all their questions.
I think I can't find any results. Penrith are in the comp, which is good. Well, it's good for Penrith if they're wishing to retain a thing. I think they'll struggle. Quite frankly, it would be very, very difficult traveling to Canberra. I don't know whether they've come to an agreement, by the way, with the comp that the Canberra teams. Imagine a team from Canberra coming into the shoot shield now. I don't know what used to happen, but you got to travel to Penrith to play. And the Penrith are traveling pretty much to Canberra every second week. I think that's really, really difficult. They haven't travelled well traditionally. I hope they go well. I hope it goes well. But it's been tough times at Penrith for 15 years. So I don't think it's going to go well.
Well said. Matt, any other outrageous opinions, conspiracy theories that you've been digging into of late? You got any views on the state of the world, the state of the union? Anything to finish this off in a well-rounded manner. We've buried Will Smith.
Yeah, that was good. We do have an episode that we'll try and release when possible with Tane Edmund that we did last week.
Fucking hell, Tane! We can't edit things on this show. Yeah,
so we have to edit a section where Tane's talking about.
Is he being derogatory about his teammates?
No, he's talking about who he finds attractive. He was just saying that he has a crush on certain players and he thought it might make them uncomfortable. So there will be an episode with Tate Edmund, quite an interesting one. He's been playing some good footy. Bias declaring bias, everyone out there. I've already declared it 1,000 times, but I think objectively he was quite good last week. So it'll be very interesting, by the way, on that, to see what the Tars do with their fly halves, because they have 3 for next year. They've got Tane, they've got Donaldson, and they've got Will Harrison, who hasn't been able to get back in. Not all of them can stay.
I feel like we should smoke cigars on one of these episodes. Do you know what I mean?
I'd have to look at the rental agreement, but I'm sure
maybe next time we can get back in person. Like, do you know what I mean? We need to set up a business around this. That's the thing with coaching. You got so much that goes into coaching that people don't really know or see. That's where a lot of the attention and time goes at the moment.
Oh, it's stupid. After the weekend, I was so tired emotionally from that fucking game. I was just like, why can't you idiots just score a few more tries so I can relax? Honestly, I need to be on an IV drip for games at the moment.
Just don't watch. Like, I
think it's Moneyball, where the general manager during the games he leaves the stadium, drives off to, and listens to it on the radio occasionally. I think I might do that with whatever radio station's covering the shoot shield these days.
Mate, well, they got to sort a clutch TV deal out. I wanted to watch our 3rd and 4th grade and 2nd grade boys.
Oh, it's on nothing. Not on Bar TV.
I don't think 2nd grade is.
Really?
No, I looked into it. There was nothing.
I tried to watch 4th grade versus East, and I couldn't find it. So that actually sucked because I wanted to watch it. But yeah, you're right.
How do we get a gig as a commentary pairing?
I don't know if I want to be a commentary pairing. I've got to be honest. I don't know who falls into these sort of jobs, but I think that I would only get more scrutiny than I would get now. I would get, imagine how much scrutinized, like, you just call it how it is. You wouldn't be able to be like, it's an unlucky throw there. You'd be like, mate, that's his 10th crooked throw in a row. Like,
he missed his fucking triggers.
Like, someone pull this bloke off the field. He hasn't thrown since fucking Vietnam. Like, can we get him off the field? So no, I don't think I'll be cut out for the coaching world. I mean, for the
commentary world, coaching world as well. Look, probably makes being a lawyer seem like a walk in the park. Being a coach,
I don't want to be.
Mate, there's too many fucking lawyers in the world already.
Everyone I see, that's what. How many is there? That's what I've got to ask. Firstly, how many lawyers is there? One, too many. How many physios is there? There's so many physios.
Well, I think physio seems like a good job at the time, and like lawyer's a prestigious job. You couldn't pay me to do either.
I think we need a culling. We need to start culling people from professions. I want to see back to the basics. I want to see us back to the basics. You got the doctors, you got the lawyers, the big regulated institutions, prostitutes. These are the old professions that go back to Jesus.
World's oldest profession, mate.
That's what we need to get back to. We need to get back to the basics. So
more prostitutes.
No, that's not what I said. I think maybe that's our silly Sunday thing, but not for us.
It's look, it's a confusing time in the world. I would like to just earn money being myself. I'm certainly making an attempt at it. Feel like I could do more.
Look, I'm going to start a GoFundMe soon. Oh, that's what I was going to talk about. To finish, ladies and gentlemen out there, go get your Pokemon cards out. Pokemon cards are worth money now. I recently, a friend of mine who's very financially savvy and very, very hard worker, got plenty of cash. He invested in some new cards. So he has gone, he's lost his ones from his childhood, and he's gone and invested quite a bit in Pokemon cards as sort of an alternative to NFTs and crypto and whatnot. So I had to dig mine up last night from a garage to potentially sell for next week's rent. So if you've got
awesome.
If you've got Pokemon cards out there and you'd like to give them to the program, just let us know. We'll trade any sort of memorabilia. I'll trade any of my rugby jerseys from my career. I'll trade my blood. I'll do anything. Give me your Charizards.
Do you keep all your rugby jerseys?
Yeah. Well, I think I've had to obviously move recently to the Hole in the Wall, a studio at Hunters Hill, which has actually had 2 visitors now. Very good.
Interesting.
For podcasts. No,
female visitors?
Podcast.
Oh, right.
And so I did there was an enormous culling of gear. Rugby gear.
Oh, yeah.
The way I look at it is I think you sort of keep a jersey from each team you make, I think, or you've been in. I don't think you really throw away game jerseys that you've played in. I think it's probably taboo, but all the things associated with that, so like tracksuit, shirts, things like that, I just put in a pretty much 100-litre garbage bag and took up to TG Milner, and it was gone within 15 seconds. So it's good to see the boys up there desperate for some kit.
I did notice Waylo wearing some new kit the other day.
Yeah, well, I put it down, turned around to lock in my car, and it's
all in his car. It's all in Waylo's car.
So that's my view on old kit. But hopefully one day I won't have grandchildren because I can't find a partner. But my grand nieces and nephews will be able to wear that stuff.
Well, look, I feel like this is a good way to end a very interesting podcast. Pokemon cards, old rugby kit, and maybe an advertisement for you to find a suitable lady friend.
No, I don't have time.
Who does, mate? Who does?
You're married.
Oh, am I?
Yeah. I don't have time. We got too much training or too much line-outs to look at. I don't have time. I'm asexual. I've gone asexual. I'm done.
Okay. There we go. We'll clip that. Jed Gillespie, I'm asexual 2022. The 2020s are the weirdest fucking years ever. I look forward to the aliens landing. Fuck. Who else?
Teams,
Who knows?
teams out there, as we're wrapping up, a few guys at East would have gone out and bought caffeine gum. Go buy caffeine gum. It tastes very, very good. I took 3 packets to training last week, and we had a very good training. We had a very, very good training. Tell you what, there was no slump at the start. But yeah, a few of the players have gone out and bought them for themselves, and then they've been asking me where they are. So it's not dear. It's not too expensive. It's very, 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 very good value for money. Hit up Chubby, and he will have them to you ASAP.
It really helps me continue my lifelong dream of doing nothing as well.
Yeah, and that's what we want in the end of the day. But it is a very good product. Tars use it. Rebels use it. Drew use it. Everyone uses it for a reason.
Swans, GWS, Manly Sea Eagles, Kayak Australia.
So
we're getting there.
If you want to prep properly for training, feeling a little bit tired after work, have a piece of caffeine gum. If you're in your mid-40s, you're a bit overweight and you're bored, have some caffeine gum as well.
And for those beer drinking athletes such as myself, the mid-beer slump, it's awesome. And you know what? We need to we're getting our numbers up on this podcast very slow, as we don't have a huge machine supporting us, but subscribe to the channel, follow us on Instagram, tell us who you'd like us to get on the podcast. Hopefully our schedules will align more regularly going forward, and we will be able to give you some consistent content.
Yep.
Hopefully people, hopefully.
Oh my God.
You know, as per usual, I can't remember a single thing we talked about, but it was fun. And you know what? I'm going to end this recording. Much love to all of you. And if you don't chew caffeine gum, fuck you.
Fuck you, bro.